Scott from Alcohol and Anime Night here with a very exciting unboxing, for me at least. The Iron Factory Starwing girl, and it's the one that nobody thought was going to happen, but here it is, and we're going to open it up and check it out. Stay tuned. So to start off with, Show Z, as always, delivers. And this is no exception. They got the corner protectors, they sent it, the box looks good, nothing's damaged, and right off the bat, that's a great first impression. Let's get out of the way straight away. This is a very small figure. The entire thing is not very big. In fact, all said and done, she ends up being about the same size as Core Class Starscream, which is a great figure. This is a unique style of figure which has been called Mecha Musume, or maybe Mech Girls, or maybe you could even say Bishoujo, but in this case I would go, this is probably more towards the Mecha Musume, which is more of a Mecha Girl type thing. Now this is a non-transforming figure. It is not a transformer. It is a Mecha Girl based on the design of Starscream, which makes it very cool. I love the idea that it doesn't have to transform. It does have a couple of aspects that allows you to pose it in different ways, but it doesn't have to transform, and so it doesn't have to sacrifice anything. As small as it is, this has incredible detail, incredible painting. The price also reflects that. It's well over $30, so that has to be something you're prepared to pay for, but it also doesn't take up very much room, which is kind of great. As I started to take a look at this, I did have a moment that made me really think back, and I had to go back and look at my character quickly. Is Starscream black? I think he might be. His face is totally black. And I see that what they've done with this Starwing girl is they've given her a much darker complexion than is traditional. And I think that's really cool. It's a neat attention to detail, and I probably wouldn't even have thought of doing that myself. Another really neat thing that they've done with the design is they've taken his shoulder pylons and they've reallocated them as bunny ears. And I think that works brilliantly for the aesthetic that they're working for. The posability for such a small character is incredible. Even the gun bits on her sides are completely separately posable, which means that you don't have to have her holding the guns. They can actually be posed in different ways that almost look like mechanical arms as well, almost like additional arms, or you can kind of pose them out to be almost like the wings as well. So it really is a cool idea. It also keeps you from losing them, but they do come off if you want them to come off, and you can want to slim that down a little bit more. So this would be about a Legends scale, if you're wondering, and just to pose her next to the Core Class Starscream, and then of course the Studio Series 86 Starscream, which you may have seen on a previous unboxing. There are loads of optional faces and hands. The faces, there is a happy cutesy face, there is kind of a normal happy face, there's kind of a angry face, and then there is two what I can only describe as just totally hateful faces. Really, they're actually just blank faces, and you're meant to put on these water slide stickers. I'm going to be honest, I will never do that. I am not going to do that. I think the faces that are there are great. I would do it if they had one that was a little bit more expressive, maybe some kind of O-face or something, but I don't think I'm going to mess with it, honestly. The only way I would is if one of them got damaged, perhaps, so it's nice to have that option. There's also several other water slide decals if you want to put them on as well. That's up to you. Most of them have kind of like the Iron Factory logo, which is kind of that bunny ears logo. I had no use for any of that, but I did have a couple of Decepticon symbols that were left from a previous Show Z order, and they were perfect size. I was able to place them on the wings. Now this is the correct way to do them, so that way when you rotate the wings, they're upside down, just like they're meant to be on Starscream, and I think that works awesome. It's just subtle. I know they couldn't do it because it's not licensed, but I'm doing it, and that is the way it's going to remain. Very much like the other Mecha Musume girls, like the Strike Witches, which you can see right here, and also in my review, which you can see there. It's a really cool way to get a flying dynamic girl into your collection, there is a port on the back for a not included action stand. I do think for the price they could have included some type of flight stand. They're very cheap. Luckily you can also get them for a few bucks on eBay and a number of different places, but I feel like they could have included it for the price here. But nonetheless, if you've got one, there's a plug on her back so you can get all sorts of cool flying poses. I'm really satisfied with this. I love that it's not too big, so it could be a really great addition to one of your desk toys if you wanted to have it at work, and it doesn't take up a lot of room in your collection, which I think is also cool. This is a really photogenic character. She looks great with other characters, she looks great by herself. The hands that she comes with, there is a peace sign, there's a fist, there's a judo chop, there's one her holding something. There's a number of options that you can mix and match, and they actually come on and off pretty easily. I don't know if that's going to become a problem in the future, but if you were really concerned at some point, if you find the pair of hands you like, just give a dab of super glue, and then that one's just the one that's on there forever. As far as the faces, they do come on and off pretty easy. I rarely have ever used a swappable face, but in this case I actually played around with it a little bit more, and it was not too difficult, but I really enjoyed having the options. If you're looking for a cutesy Starscream, then you really can't go wrong with the Iron Factory offering. Check it out on Show Z and let me know in the comments if you picked one up, and I can't wait to see what else they have going on coming up down the pike. This was Scott from Alcohol and Anime Night. Kampai.